historically we have absolutely been pretty male dominated, and there will be events that, you know, I've historically gone to where there's been very little in the way of female representation, either as attendees or people speaking at events and sharing their expertise. Things thankfully have moved on, and we're far more balanced.
I mean, the industry is certainly open to both males and females, and whilst it's true to say there's more males involved, the number of females in the industry is getting larger all the time, and that's certainly a positive thing. Some of the strongest voices in our industry are female, and pleasingly we're also seeing a number of women in very senior positions across all areas of the industry, and that includes brokerages, networks, large distributors, and of course product providers. If I think about my own team, then we have more females than males, and the balance certainly works for us. And as a business, Vitality is focused on developing an equal split around gender and diversity. And in fact, if I think about it, most of my most reliable contacts are probably female.
When I first started in insurance, and I started working for an insurance company, and I remember going to an event, like an industry event, and I would say that it was like 98% men. And, you know, you had the very, you know, braces, smoking cigars, drinking whiskey. You were just like, wow, you know, this does exist. This is an actual place. It was so bizarre because I was quite young. And I remember looking around the room thinking, this is so strange. You know, it's like, it's such a club. It's such a boys' club.
I think there's still room for improvement. I mean, when I joined the industry in 2010, I do remember walking into a conference as the only female BDM at that conference, and probably 5% of delegates were female at the time. So we're moving in the right direction for sure. And it's lovely to see that heads of sales and heads of departments within the providers that I've worked in especially have been female.
People are much more relaxed in the way that they dress and how we are, and I think all of that's a good move, right? It's like you used to go everywhere and everyone would be looking so corporate, and you know, it's just nice to see people relaxing a little bit.
I do think it is getting there. There are a lot more women getting into insurance and also setting up their own businesses as well, which is even better as well.
Protection, I think, is leading the way with female advisors and mortgage advisors, but holistically, further financial advice, I think, is still very male dominated. Fund managers are a very male dominated environment still, and I feel like there is still so much more we can do to make people more comfortable, or women especially more comfortable in talking about their financial affairs.
And that's one of the reasons why I set up the Women in Protection Network, because I just felt that it wasn't a balanced environment for people, and actually there weren't enough female voices being heard. And I wanted to try and change that, to shine a light on that as an issue that our industry needed to address, but also to provide a network for women to engage and to help and support each other, which is obviously what we're trying to do. There's still work to be done, that's for sure, particularly in financial services across the board when you bring in other aspects of financial services as well, for example, banking. But at the same time, progress has been made, which is brilliant. But we need to make sure that we are a more inclusive industry across the board, not just when it comes to gender.
My background is investment banking, corporate banking, consulting. And when I did get into those industries as well, there's not that many Black or African people, but I do feel it is getting better. And point two, social media is really good as well. So Robin Allen and Carla Edwards doing amazing things in protection. There's going to be other women that see that, and obviously their business will grow from that. Even what I'm doing, I've got clients from all different backgrounds, all different nationalities and religions as well. And I think that's from social media. They see me, they see that I'm obviously giving them financial advice and educating them on protection. And then they want to have a conversation with me.
I love my job and I love the industry I work in. So I think it's a really lovely thing to be able to watch the industry grow, and new women coming through, and there's been a real change in the male female ratio. I think certainly within protection, I think it's definitely improved significantly, and it's lovely to see. I think there is still obviously a lot more men going into financial services than women. That is definitely the case. you know, it has got a lot better, and that can only be a great thing, because I think the dynamics have now changed. It's very interesting, actually, like going to the different events and seeing more women speakers and more women sitting around the table, and the change in how that changes the dynamics of the protection industry for a positive, for a massive positive, because it is so different to the world that I joined.